Okay, we have done our first full day in Florence. I'm James, this is Donna, and welcome to our Italy Travelogue. Full day in Florence, favorite thing for you?
My feet are too tired.
It's been a lot of walking. And how many steps lead up to this Airbnb?
91.
91 steps, and they're not a gradual incline. They're pretty full on. So it's an investment if you're going down and you're coming back up. But I got to say it's worth it. Okay, day one, we did something we never do on vacation. We've been traveling the world because we live in Dubai for 22 years. I can't think of ever taking a hop-on, hop-off bus.
Nope.
Never. We did it here in Florence. It was a 1-hour loop, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. Great opportunity to see lots of different things in the city and get introduced to things, and a great way to get to the places you really want to go. So we ended up, kind of by accident actually, as the bus was doing its tour, it passed the church called...
The Santa Croce Church.
Now, as we're passing it, you kind of look at it and you go, okay, yeah, nice marble facade, looks really cool. And then they start giving some of the details of the people that are buried in the church. And it's a who's who of Italian thinkers and doers and influencers.
There's Dante, Michelangelo, Rossini, Machiavelli, and many others as well.
And it's just an incredible looking church. And right out front is this looming statue of Dante.
Yeah.
Which, looking at that with his eagle looking up at him, I said, you know what? If I was to have another son, I would name him Dante. Interesting church too, because it did flood in the 60s in that area. And they had to raise things, and the story is that the water was coming right up to the feet of this statue. So you'll get a look at that as well. Interesting as well is once a year in costume they play a football match in front of the church.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. It's paved, so that must be a lot of fun as well. And what was the deal with Michelangelo and where he was buried, because he's really close to the door?
Oh, that's right. He's his tomb is when you walk. If you were to right now, the main doors, they don't open them. They're these massive doors,
incredible locks.
Yeah, and he is to the right of the door, just in by a little bit. And apparently, he chose the spot where he's buried because once the door would be opened and his soul would be leaving his body, I guess, it led straight to the Duomo.
Yeah, so the first thing he would see would be the Duomo.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of cool. A lot of restoration has gone on in the church. Really cool. You can see that it's well worn. There's a lot of tombs on the ground, and they're just well worn. Like you have no idea what's going on there. So really, that was really cool. That was maybe one of the highlights of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since we hadn't planned on going. So we did the full tour. Then we got off the bus, and then we had lunch at the Panini Toscana.
I think one of the best sandwiches I've ever had.
Well, that was the review, so that's why we decided we needed to go. So this place is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
When we got there, luckily there wasn't a huge line, but as we were eating, there was this massive line.
The best part is they give you a tour of the meats and the cheeses before you make your sandwich.
Yeah, so you get into line, and then everybody, so even if you know what you want, you still have to join this line. And I don't know, we'll do it again for sure. So I don't know if the meats change or if the cheeses change. So you get 3 different meats that they have. You try them all if you want to, of course. And then he cuts up all the cheeses. You try them all. And then you get to choose your bread.
There was at least 5 or 6 pieces, different types of paninis to choose from.
There's bruschettas, there's focaccias, there's flavors with olives, without, with nuts.
I went with the olives.
So all sorts. And then you choose whichever meat you liked, whichever cheese you liked. And then you go down the row, and then there are all these they're vegetables, I guess, but not really. But I mean, there's marinated eggplant, there's sun-dried
Zucchinis.
tomatoes, zucchini,
Was
all
excellent.
the Italian delicacies that they then put into your sandwich, and then
They heat it.
yeah, and then they toast it up.
They toast it up.
So yes, probably one of the best paninis that we have ever had.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely go back for another before we go.
And it was, as we said, there's a lineup. It moves fast, and it's a great meeting place right beside the Duomo, so you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Big green sign.
So while we were there, we then got tickets to go back to the Santa Croce Church.
Because you need tickets. You can buy tickets there, get them online. It's a lot quicker. You go to the front of the line, and you're right in.
Exactly. And I guess even if you're not guaranteed a ticket either when you get there.
They restrict the numbers going in for conservation purposes, etc.
Yeah. So while we were having our sandwich, we then got the tickets. We were lucky that we could get some for the day.
Yeah.
And then we got back on the bus and then went back to the church and then got off there. That's the joy of the hop on, hop off.
And then you're just watching people as you're waiting to get back on the bus. And
Mm-hmm.
just, watching tourists have altercations as they're trying to find Airbnbs, watching little cars.
Yeah, all these tiny little cars.
or these, then there were these big cars in these parking lots where they're parking lots in buildings. So they basically drop their car and the parking attendants take care of it. And that was kind of fun to watch.
Mm.
And then we went
then we got back on the bus. And then we had over the first tour, we had driven by Piazza Michelangelo, which is the lookout. So it was on our list to go back later in the week, but we didn't know where it was. So thank goodness but it would have been hard to get to, I believe.
Yeah.
So we then got off the bus again, and then we had half an hour because the bus comes every 30 minutes, or an hour, but we had half an hour. We walked around, we could see
it's just the best panoramic view of the city. And it really puts it all into context. Things are actually pretty close together, but there aren't necessarily roads that go in a straight line. So yeah, it was really cool. And you see, Florence in this valley, and then you see all the hills around it, and you see some snow. And I thought it was kind of cool that you're looking out over the city, and then when you turn behind you, it's the Tuscan landscape, because that whole subdivision that was created, as they said, when Florence was the capital of Italy, this whole area where this lookout was an area where houses were created for ministers and ambassadors, etc. So it's just cool. It's really, really cool. And it's pretty busy right now, although one of the waiters we spoke to said, it's dead. It's like Christmas time right now. And we were going, wow, there's a lot of people here. And he's going, this is nothing. So again, great time to come and visit. And Syracuse University in the US has an Italian exchange program, because we're meeting a lot of students and their parents coming to visit them from Syracuse. So kind of cool.
And then we got back on the bus, and then we did the rest of the tour again, obviously, to get back to our starting point.
And then we had some cocktails, and we ordered some, whatever those things were. It was a bruschetta with, I don't know.
I know they were called cucciolo. So it's like a bread ball, a pizza ball, and then you just got ham that was just kind of laid over top, but it was hot. So, and then there was some burrata that was just in a bowl, so it was already cut up, and you could just mix it all in.
They also brought some finger foods to have a snack with. And
which they did the day before.
So we thought,
and it was the same place.
Yeah, so we thought they brought the wrong dish. We'd already eaten part of it. It's like, whoa, we eat someone else's food. No, they're going to just keep eating it. But the best thing on there...
But then we had way too much.
Yeah, then we were full. So now you're in a problem because you'd planned to go and have dinner, and be careful. So, but the best thing on that little finger food snack tray were olives stuffed with meat, deep fried.
I didn't try them.
They were awesome. And then we meandered around because we were thinking, okay, well, let's go get something for dinner. There's way too much choice. And I thought maybe pizza, and then no, we don't want pizza. And what do we...
And then we were just too tired to make up our minds.
So we happened on this just little hole in the wall place, and I'm thinking it was family run because there was, you know, a Nona in the kitchen, and I'm thinking it was the father and the son running things out front. There were maybe 8 tables in it.
Mhm.
It was hot. It was so hot inside there. It was great.
Yeah,
And
because it was cold yesterday.
yeah, homemade pasta. It was great. It really was great. And it's kind of weird though, because the in Florence and I guess the Tuscan bread is not really salted. And the idea is that put some olive oil down on your plate, slather up your piece of bread in the olive oil, and then put salt on your bread. That's apparently the way you're supposed to do it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Anyway, then we did the 91 stairs back up, and we called it a night. It was a good day.
Yeah.
And now we're ready to do it all again. Interesting thing to keep in mind if you're doing just a quick trip to Italy, or if you're coming to Florence and you've got, you know, only a few days, do some research about which days things are closed, because it's fairly random. So a lot of stuff was closed on Sunday. A lot of stuff was open on Sunday. A lot of stuff is now closed on Monday. A lot of stuff was open. If you've got some must-go-to things, do that research to find out which day of the week they're closed so that you don't get here and find yourself disappointed. But that's it. That's day 6 in Italy. Our first full day in Florence. A lot more to come. I'm James. This is Donna.
Ciao.